Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the channel, The Twins Academy. Today we will discuss the MCQ paper 1-1 of O Level Physics 5054, May-June 2023. So this is the first paper of the new syllabus from 2023 to 2025. So let's solve and start the questions. Question number 1. A student wishes to measure directly the circumference of a football. Now, the shape of the football is always in a circular shape. What is the most suitable instrument to use? A clock only. It is used to measure time. Micrometer. It is used to measure diameter of thin wires. A ruler only. Ruler cannot bend. It is a rigid body and it cannot bend. So this option is also not possible. So only which option is being left? Option B, a measuring tape. Since measuring tape is flexible, so we can wrap the measuring tape around the football in order to measure its circumference. So which option is correct? Option B is the correct answer. Question number 2. Which equation contains two vector quantities? So we will discuss scalar and vector one by one. Acceleration, vector, velocity, vector, time, scalar. Speed, scalar, distance, scalar, time, scalar. So not possible. Density, scalar, mass, scalar, volume, scalar, not possible. Volume, scalar, length, scalar, width, scalar, height, scalar, not possible. So we are left with the only option number 1, since it carries two vector quantities, that is acceleration and velocity. Okay, ji. Forces of 6 Newton and 8 Newton are acting as shown in diagram. Which diagram shows the resultant R of these two forces? Now, in these type of questions, we have to complete the parallelogram. So, let's complete the parallelogram. Okay, now we will draw the resultant. Resultant will be always drawn towards the point where these two lines intersect each other. And we will draw the resultant direction of the resultant vector also towards this intersecting point. So now this option is wrong option, since it is like this. So this option is wrong option, as well as option D is wrong option. Just difference between B and D is the direction of the resultant force. Now this one is the correct answer. This one is the wrong answer. The reason is that it is directed towards the origin, while it has to be directed away from the origin, the point where these two lines intersect each other. So this diagram is similar to this one. So it's mean option A is the correct answer. Now this one is interesting question. So in this question, speed time graph for the journey of a car is shown. Speed time graph. Okay. Now first we will determine the different parts of the speed time graph. This graph shows that body is moving with constant speed. And this part shows that body is moving with increasing speed. Now, what is the distance time graph for the journey? So we have to convert speed time graph equivalent to its distance time graph. Okay. Now, since This line's distance time graph shows body is at rest. So it's mean two options are omitted out, option C and option D, since the straight line in distance time graph shows body is at rest. Now we will compare these two options A and B. Since we know that this graph shows slope of the body decreases and this shows that slope of the body increases. So it's mean that now in this graph, this part, the straight path shows that speed is constant, while the curved one part shows that this one speed is increasing. So which option is correct? Now option B is the correct answer. So don't mix this one with this one. Again, in distance time graph, this line shows that body is at rest, while in speed time graph, this line shows that body is moving with constant speed. Now, one thing which is mentioned in the syllabus as well as in the paper, that now we have to take the value of acceleration is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, or value of gravitational field strength 9.8 Newton per kg. According to the old syllabus, the value was rounded off to 10, but now we have to take the value equal to 9.8, that is its original value. So the same is mentioned in the question over here. The gravitational field strength of Earth is 9.8. Okay. For Earth, it's 9.8 Newton per kg. The gravitational field strength on the Mars is 3.7 Newton per kg. The difference between weight of an object on Earth and the weight of the same object on Mars is 25 Newton. Okay. What is the mass of the object? Now this is the value of the weight. So W is equals to 25 Newton. Since object remains the same, so W is equals to 25 Newton. What was the formula of weight? W is equals to mg. M is equals to W over G. So it's 25 over 9.8. So now when we will calculate, it will be 2.55 kg. Now we will repeat the same process over here. Mass is equals to weight over gravitational field strength, 25 over 3.7 6.75 kg. Now what we have to do, since it was given that the difference, so what we will do, we will find the difference. 6.75 minus 2.55. So 6.75 minus 2.55, it's approximately equals to 4.2, and nearly it will be the option C. So in this way, we can find the mass of the object, since this is the closest value to the answer. A student determines the density of a solid metal cube. It is a regular shaped body. We have to determine the density. What is the formula of density? Density is equals to mass over volume. Mass is measured by, so which pieces of equipment does the student use? Mass is measured by balance, and since this is a regular shaped body, so volume is measured by ruler. Balance and force meter knobs, micrometer knobs, it is used to measure the diameter of thin wires. A ruler and measuring cylinder. Measuring cylinder is always used to determine the volume of irregular shaped body. So which option is now correct? Option B is the correct answer. Well, let's move towards the next question. The diagram shows two horizontal forces acting on a trolley that is accelerating at 0.12 meter per second square. So acceleration is 0.12 meter per second square. Force 1, force 2. What is the mass of the trolley? So we will use Newton's second law of motion. But for that, first of all, we have to find the resultant force. And what was the formula? Since these two forces are acting in opposite direction, Newton's second law of motion can be represented by this equation. Now these two forces are acting in opposite direction, and we know that their resultant can be found by subtracting them. We have to determine the mass. Acceleration was 0.12. Now we will subtract them. 6 minus 3.6 is equals to 2.4. Mass into 0.12. 2.4 divided by 0.12, it's 20 kg. So which option is correct? Option C is the correct answer. Okay. A spring is stretched to different lengths by a variable force. The graph shows the size of the force depends on the length to which the spring is stretched. What is the spring constant? Since we know that according to Hooke's law, the equation is F is equal to Kx and K is equals to F over X. Since this is force length or extension graph, so what we will do, we will find the slope of this graph, and the slope of this graph will give the value of spring constant. So let's determine the slope of this graph. I will consider this one. This is y2, this is y1, this is x2, this is x1. So K is equals to slope is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we will substitute the values over here. Y2 4 minus y1 2 over x2 20 minus x1 15. So K is equals to 2 over 5, and it will be most probably 0.10. So 2 divided by 5, 0.4. So my math gets wrong. So it will be 0.40. So which is the correct option? Option B is the correct answer. So never ever do the calculation orally. Always use the calculator if your mathematics is like my mathematics. Be careful, dears. Be careful. Otherwise your answer can be wrong. The next question. I love this question. I love this question the most. Okay, ji. A uniform horizontal beam pivoted at its right end is in equilibrium. It means it is balanced. A 60 Newton, a force of 60 Newton acts vertically upward on the beam as shown. What is the weight of the beam? Okay, we will make it F1. We will make it F2. F1 is 60 Newton. We know that principle of moment is F1 D1 is equals to F2 D2. Now, make sure one thing, that whenever we are going to determine the distance, the moment arm, always the distance will be measured from the pivot. So for F1, the distance from the pivot will be 30 plus 20 is equals to 50 centimeter. It will be equals to D1. Never ever consider it 20. The distance will be always taken from the pivot. And for F2, the distance will be obviously 30 centimeter. Now substitute the values over here. F1 60, D1 50, F2 as it is, D2 30. So F2 is equals to 60 multiplied by 50 over 30. This one, 2 and 100. So which option is correct here? Option D is the correct answer. Now let's solve question number 10. A constant frictional force acts on a moving object for a short amount of time. So time is given, force is given, causing the momentum of the body to decrease. Which expression is used to calculate the time for which the force acts? We know that relation between force and change in momentum, F is equals to delta P over T, where delta P stands for change in momentum, T stands for time, F stands for force. From here we can find the formula of time. This one wrong, this one wrong. They cannot be multiplied. So these two options are wrong. Time is equal to momentum over force? No. Time is equals to change in momentum over force. So option A is the correct answer. Thank you very much. We will continue to solve the remaining MCQ in next video.